Welcome back. Malawi's President Peter Mutharika is to be sworn in for a second term in office after winning a narrow and controversial election. The ceremony will be in the commercial capital of Blantyre just hours after he was declared the winner of an election that was plagued by allegations of vote tampering. Mr. Mutharika, who has been president since 2014, took 38.5% of the vote. Opposition leader Lazarus Chakwera was a close second with 35%, while former Vice President Saulos Chilima got 20%. Mr. Chakwera and Mr. Chilima had earlier gone to court to attempt to block the announcement of the results, saying there were irregularities in some districts. The announcement of the winner sparked small protests in opposition strongholds, but the situation remains calm in the country. Now, a rights group, Human Rights Watch, has accused both Egyptian security forces and jihadists of committing war crimes in the North Sinai region. The rights group compiled the report over 2 years, interviewing more than 50 residents of the Sinai Peninsula in northeastern Egypt. It concludes that while Egyptian military and police forces were responsible for the majority of abuses documented in the report, extremist militants had also committed horrific crimes. In November 2017, militants attacked a mosque in North Sinai province, killing 235 people. It was the deadliest attack of its kind since an Islamist insurgency in the peninsula was stepped up in 2013. Now, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, more than 800,000 people will be vaccinated against cholera in North Kivu in an effort to stop the current epidemic in the eastern part of the country. The World Health Organization says more than 10,000 cholera cases have been reported in the country since January this year and more than 240 deaths recorded. The first people in the drive were vaccinated on Monday. The health ministry is to administer the first 2 doses of the vaccine to people living in Binza, Goma, Kayina, Karisimba, Kibirizi, Hirochi and Rutshuru, where a lot of cases have been reported. The rollout of the vaccination campaign will also help in containing the levels of epidemics that have been witnessed in DR Congo in the past few months. Now, as South Sudan continues its peace process, an agreement has been signed in Kodok to return a school building to civilian use after being used as a camp for different armed groups during the past 5 years. The Ministry of Education, in partnership with UNICEF, organized this as children head back to schools.
For the past 5 years, this school had known military wares, chickens, cooking stones and beds, but not anymore, as the building is returning to its proper use. Soldiers from the South Sudan People's Defense Forces move their wares and vacate the school premises after an agreement signed in Kodok. A declaration in place, officials signed the all-important document.
We don't want to do this thing in darkness because we wanted to tell the world that, and tell the region that we are for peace and we are evacuating the day schools. Because our presence in the school here, it is giving a lot of excuse even to the donors. If you talk about education, they say, no. The schools are being occupied by soldiers.
It's a big day for the children in Fashoda, as acknowledged by the area Minister of Education.
This day was a historical day. We have been waiting for this day since the beginning of scholastic year. So, as you are aware, the school was armed barrack since 2013, depending on who is controlling the area, rebels or the government. So now today we hand the school, and the facilities need a lot of things to be done.
Witnessing for the UN were representatives of UNICEF, the UN Children's Agency and the Child Protection Unit of the UN mission in South Sudan.
Our job is very simple: to plead with the national authorities, to plead with the military, and work together with them to ensure that the schools are evacuated, they are not being used during the war, The children are not used in the armed forces. They are not raped. They are not abducted.
It is a feat worth celebrating with a new song as civilian spaces get demilitarized following the signing of a peace agreement in 2018. As the country's politicians work towards forming a transitional government, the demilitarization of civilian space is a crucial part of creating a conducive environment for safe, dignified voluntary returns of civilians to their homes.
Now, finally on the program, residents of a Cairo neighborhood host an annual banquet in the fasting month of Ramadan, inviting friends and family to break their fast over a 50-meter-long table of food and drinks on the streets. Ramadan is a common practice among Muslims to fast from dawn to sunset.
Hundreds of Egyptians gather in an annual Ramadan get-together in a Cairo neighborhood, bonding over a 50-meter-long table full of Ramadan delicacies. The banquet is organized by nearly 70 individuals living in Esbet Hamada Street in Matariya, a lower-income neighborhood in northern Cairo. According to volunteers, the annual feast is not an act of charity, but rather an intimate meal hosted by the youths of the neighborhood.
It is a hosted event, a kind of cooperation. People cooperate with each other. Everyone gathers, everyone collects, and everyone participates, creating love and affection. It's a kind of cooperation and sharing.
The event brings together residents of the area along with their family and friends, some of whom come from other parts of the capital. Organizers say the banquet is held on the 15th day of Ramadan every year, and the event has been hosted annually for the past 7 years.
The feast is held amidst people, amidst family. All these people are our family. This brings happiness to everyone, specifically because we are in the month of Ramadan. These young men do not charge any of the attendees at all. This is all done by the youth. They want to bring happiness into this neighborhood.
The banquet became distinctively popular for the first time when photos of the crowded neighborhood and the long iftar table were shared on social media platforms. Organizers collect specific sums of money across the year to pay for the food and associated costs. Among the volunteers are professional chefs who cook the food in nearby houses. Nearly 2,200 individuals attended the feast this year.
How beautiful is that? It's like a big family dinner. Well, that's it on Network Africa today. I'm Teniola Shibwale. Bye for now.